We're talking about super green homes with Ed, Rachelle, and Scott. Scott, you've got some visual aids, have you not?
I do. I brought some things. So I wanted to show you, ways that people can do things at home that we did for the Begleys.
Right.
And make it so everybody can do it. So a couple things, because we learned a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
Didn't know everything before we started. So one of the things that we learned was ways to minimize mold in people's homes. And so as a builder, it never occurred to me until I kind of started doing the Begley's homes, but you've seen this before, right?
Yeah,
it's called drywall.
Yeah, drywall.
You know what's on the back of the drywall?
That much I know. What?
Okay, good. Do you know what's on the back of this drywall?
Paper?
It's paper, thank you. Do you know what mold loves to eat?
Paper?
Yes. So,
That was a guess.
Yeah, you really
set it up for me
I'm trying to
nicely,
make
did
it
you not?
really easy, really easy.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. So it turns out that all these years people complain about mold in the house, and not everybody can afford to do the waterproofing that we did for the Begleys.
Right.
So what we found out is what we used is this product is very similar. It's also, I got my clothes dirty, but it's all right. I look like a builder now.
That's
that I am.
right.
I'm going to hand this to you, but you can see this is basically drywall, and they took the paper off. And they put fiberglass on it.
And it still works great.
So there's
works
a spray of fiberglass or something?
No, it's just a mat.
Just a mat.
And it's just changing that one material is the difference in having nearly a mold-free home.
Wow.
Is there a
So it
signature?
functions the
Rachelle.
same way, just
I'm going to tell you why nobody
Why?
likes to use it. Because Rochelle's going to find out in a minute.
Oh,
It's
little fibers?
The little fibers.
Oh, okay.
So people aren't talking about it as much because the contractors don't want to work with it because it makes you itch.
Well, maybe they should just
So
wear gloves.
for a few dollars more a sheet, you could use something like this.
So there's not a huge cost difference.
It's not a huge cost difference, and it's like, when you think about it, the way we've been building homes for years is you take wood, and termites love wood. You take, and then you take drywall with paper on the back, and mold loves drywall, and you basically created a time bomb.
Yeah.
It's really, really good for my business, by the way.
yeah, because you get to
We're always
remodel.
constantly
rehab.
redoing, the homes, but I would rather people know the right way because it's about healthy living.
Yeah.
And it's just not healthy to live that way. I have asthma, so for my entire life, I go into people's homes, I can tell right away. I'm like, the canary in the mine.
Yeah.
You got mold in the house.
Yeah.
So if people started doing something like this, like we did for the Begleys, we could have cleaner homes, cleaner air.
Everyone
people.
comes into my home and says, wow, it feels so healthy in here. It was a
really
lot of
does.
light,
Yeah,
and the air is a different quality.
yeah.
That's great.
So what else you got?
Okay, so this is something really easy. Do you know what this is?
It looks like tape.
It's shiny. Yes. Do you know what this? So this is actually a nice duct tape, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I bought the better tape. This was I think it was like $5 for this tape.
Okay.
So one of the things that we see as builders that people aren't talking about is efficiency with their air conditioning systems. So when we did the Begleys, what we did is they were able to get really efficient air conditioning systems, which is great. Not everybody can afford to do that. So one of the biggest losses that we see in air conditioning systems is in the attic. When I go up in there, you can see those ducts are actually not connected.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your
wow.
contractor didn't really wrap that thing tight. And so you spend all this money or feeling like I need to upgrade from a 13 SEER to a 16 SEER to an 18 SEER. I can't afford it, but you were losing 30% of the efficiency in the attic.
Wow.
And do you know why the builders and contractors don't tell you about it?
Why?
Because when they're up in the attic, it's really nice and warm or cool for them.
Yeah.
So they don't say anything.
I see.
It's just
so
really,
they
really
like the
comfortable.
fact that the air is.
So you're
escaping
covering all the gaps, basically.
So basically, what you could do is you go up in the attic, go up on early in the morning and maybe ask your husband or,
Yeah,
to go up there and make him some coffee. I
Yeah.
bet you could even do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I bet you could. Here.
Impressive.
It might be a
Wait,
stretch.
See?
You know that
It's
I'm
pretty easy.
really.
If you can pull it off and wrap it around.
So I could probably do
Yeah.
this. Then.
So one of the things, you could do it, see? You already
Yeah, look
halfway
at that.
there.
I'm
You're
halfway there. Yeah.
So when we did Ed's house, it's a LEED Platinum, which is the highest level LEED that you're going to get. And so we actually had to physically go in and do a HERS test to show that we sealed all the ducts and vents in there.
Wow.
And we passed with flying colors.
That's
So,
great.
but this is something so simple. For $5, your energy bills will start to
A
dramatically go
do-it-yourselfer
down.
can do that.
Anybody can do this.
I could even do that.
Yeah.
And save energy costs there, making your system just more efficient.
Well, I did this at my house. It turns out when I went up there was like this big duct, and it was just not connected.
Come on.
Wow.
So my air conditioner doesn't run as long anymore.
Yeah.
And so now we
That's
turn it
great.
on. It just goes for a few minutes. It cools my whole house.
Money in the bank.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got
$5
anything
right
else in
here.
there?
I do. So, all right. Let me.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. So this thing. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's good because most people haven't seen it. It's
Yeah.
a soaker. This is a soaker hose. So we did a lot of research and development when we were doing your house for the agriculture and the landscape, and we found out that the roots for these trees actually are not in the air. So everybody's been watering stuff in the air. Have you
Yeah.
seen one of these things before? Do you know what this is?
Yeah, a sprinkler.
It's a sprinkler head, right?
Yeah,
You've seen
right.
these. You know what
Yeah.
they do is they water the air.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what we did for
When the wind blows, you really water the neighbor's yard.
But you do, and everybody, and you're upset with your neighbors. You water their lawns.
Yeah.
You're watering their sidewalks. You're watering
Yeah,
people's
that's true.
cars. So there's these things,
Uh-huh.
and it actually waters the roots, where the roots are happy.
Huh.
And so you don't need to use nearly as. This is what we did for the Begley, so they don't have to waste all the water, even though they get it from the rainwater tanks as well. Look
So
at the
how does
difference.
this work? Does the soaker
Hooks in?
Look at this. Check
Goes
it out.
through
Is
It's
that
right
a
here.
hose or
So
is
you-
that a rope?
So this
That's
is a hose.
soaker hose.
Soaker
It's a hose
Yeah, so you can
runs
connect
through
these.
here.
You run it through there, and you can actually, like, which one would you rather use? If you're a plant, would you be happier if it?
I think I'd be happier with this,
Yeah.
don't you?
So, and then here's something that anybody can do. So, I was so excited. I found this part here. This thing, you can put this on the end of your hose bib. If you have one, I bet you can do it.
Yeah. Well, I live in a condo now, so I don't have a hose.
But if you have,
Go for that, by the way.
but you attach this, you put this on the
Yeah.
end of your hose bib,
Yeah.
and then you put this underground,
Yeah.
and you can start watering for a few dollars instead of wasting all the water that we do watering in the air.
Wonderful, wonderful. That
That's
alone.
fabulous.
So those are some of the simple
Yeah.
things. Everything we did is a lot more complex for the Begley,
Yeah.
but anybody can do these.
I fell on a sidewalk that had frozen over because someone was watering in the middle of the winter, and it froze, and boom, I went down.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, well, you know, but fortunately I didn't break anything.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to break now, and so we'll be back in just a moment right
Great.
after this.
Stay tuned for more Lifestyle Magazine.
We have been green today on Lifestyle Magazine, and we're talking with Ed, Rachelle, and Scott, and we're going to give each one of you just a few seconds for a final word. Ed, what would you like to say?
There's so much advanced technology we've used in this new house, and some of it is kind of pricey, but to weather the storm of energy uncertainty or climate change, you don't need to have a yacht like we do. You can have a cabin cruiser, you can have a dinghy. You can do so much of the stuff as Scott was showing on a real budget. That's the way I've been doing it since 1970. When I started in 1970, I was a broken, struggling actor. You can do the weather stripping, the double pane windows, the kind of things he just showed, those wonderful visual aids that he
Right.
showed that help with water and energy. All that stuff is available. Get a home energy audit, and then go about doing the stuff that you can afford today. Do what you
Right.
can today.
Pays for itself, doesn't it, Rachelle?
I guess I would add that, you know, health begins in your home.
Right.
Yes,
So have the
for sure.
cleanest
Yeah.
environment possible.
Awesome.
And then you can do it with style. It
Good
isn't,
style.
it isn't
You can
the
look
way,
good as
I
well.
like that.
green
Yeah.
doesn't have to be ugly.
Scott, final word.
Familiarity and comfort level is a thing that I think has stopped change for so many years in the construction market. And you know, having people like Ed and Rachelle like that just said, we don't need it to be comfortable, we want to make it better. To be able to have people to make that change is the most amazing thing. So I think we need to learn to break our comfort levels and search for new ways to bring change to the world.
Break your comfort level. That's a good place to end.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, all of you, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for being a part of this one as well. We look forward to seeing you again next time. But until then, you take care of yourself. Bye-bye.